The crowd missed the cosh in his hand as he brought it down hard on the back of the woman's head. They missed her fall, missed her companion, mouth open, walking straight into a hypodermic needle. As he loses his footing, there's another blue shirt to catch him, and between them, they carry him, as if it's the most normal thing in the world, to the back of the SUV and lay him gently on the floor. No rush, just the practiced, unhurried movements of the two professionals. Seen, but not seen, easing the SUV slowly, so very slowly, into the afternoon traffic. It was the smell that hit her first, the disinfectant, sharp and invasive. Then the rattle of distant trolleys, whispered voices. She opened her eyes, taking in the white hospital gown, white bed, white walls, a room for all purposes. Recovery one day, if your luck held. Departure the next, if it didn't. Clawing at the bedside phone, she dialed her emergency number. "It's She stopped mid-croak and tried to swallow. "I'm Margo Lane." "Yes, I know. You should stay where you are until the morning." "And who are you?" "Duty assistant. We'll be in touch." "Oh, is that so? How did I get—" But the man had hung up. The service, she recalled, had a habit of hiring charmless graduates, devoid of social graces. Like machines, they were programmed to use the minimum number of words and ensure they were meaningless to anyone who might overhear them. And, frequently, to everyone else as well. Margo found a button beside the bed and called the nurse. "At what time was I admitted?" she asked her. About 4 hours ago. You were really out of it." She stood at the end of the bed and pointed to Margot's head. "Does it hurt?" Now you mention it, how did I get here?" "Ambulance. I don't deal with that part." Who's paying for this?" The nurse rearranged her pillows. "Well, you had some visitors not long after they brought you in. A nice couple, said they were colleagues. Wouldn't leave their names, though." "Did they say if they were coming back?" The nurse shook her head. "They didn't really say much about anything." She fell in and out of sleep. She remembered bursts of sunshine through the trees in Gramercy Park, the two of them thinking aloud with long, silent intervals. The nuns on the other side of the square, offering by their presence an unspoken and utterly false assurance that everything would be fine. After all the training, you still see what you want to see, still arrange the dots in the wrong order, open the wrong doors. It would fall into place, some kind of place, but not a happy one. 2 visitors had come to see her while she lay unconscious. They hadn't waited, hadn't identified themselves, left nothing behind. She had been observed and discarded, which meant that it was over, for everyone except her. London. "You move on," Margo told herself. "Of course you do." The service had designed a whole range of rituals and clichés to get you through those occupational inconveniences, like abduction or killing. And if you needed it, there was an anonymous outhouse of men and women who smiled just a little too frequently, spoke in very low voices, and wondered, in between long silences, whether she was coping and how things were going at home. On her return to London, Margo had spent a day with them, enough to avoid the label uncooperative. She had drunk their milky tea and told them with all the conviction she could muster that it was just one of those things. Grimaces all round, nodding heads, murmurs of regret. There had been one final debrief. Gentle. Far too gentle, she thought. One of the service's so-called elder statesmen, way into his 60s, had been sitting at the wooden tea table beside the apple tree in the garden. He had risen stiffly to greet her, not there to interrogate, but in a kindly, almost disinterested way, to inquire how she had processed the events in Gramercy Park and what she would do next. Processed? Did she have any idea why her contact had been abducted in broad daylight in central New York? Had he been...